Most people believe karma is slow. But what if that belief is the greatest illusion of all? What if every choice you make is already shaping your future in ways you cannot see yet? And the life you're living today is the echo of seeds planted long ago. Have you ever noticed something quietly disturbing about life? There are moments when the world seems to contradict everything we were taught about fairness. You may see a person who lives honestly, treats others with kindness, and works hard year after year, yet life continues to test them with hardship after hardship. At the same time, someone else may lie, manipulate, or take advantage of people, and still appear to rise, prosper, and succeed. When you witness this often enough, a question begins to grow in the back of your mind. Is life actually fair? Or have we misunderstood something fundamental about how the world works? Many people quietly struggle with this question. We grow up hearing that good actions bring good outcomes and bad actions eventually lead to consequences. Yet when we look at real life, the pattern sometimes seems reversed. The patient are overlooked. The selfish get ahead, the honest struggle, the ruthless advance, and so a silent doubt begins to form. If karma truly exists, why does life sometimes look so unfair? The truth is, the problem may not be that karma is false. The real problem may be that most people misunderstand how karma actually works. Many imagine karma as a kind of cosmic justice system, something that quickly rewards goodness and immediately punishes wrongdoing. They expect the universe to behave like a judge in a courtroom, delivering instant verdicts for every action. But life rarely moves that way. Nature does not rush its outcomes. A seed planted in the soil does not become a tree overnight. For a long time, nothing appears to happen at all. The ground remains quiet. The surface reveals nothing. Yet beneath that silence, an invisible process has already begun. Karma unfolds in a similar way. It moves quietly, gradually, often hidden from view until the right moment arrives. And once you begin to understand the deeper laws behind it, the events of life may start to make far more sense than they did before. Before we go deeper into this idea, welcome to Daily Soul Compass, a place where we explore the hidden patterns of life, wisdom, and the quiet forces that shape our destiny. If reflections like this resonate with you, consider subscribing to the channel and supporting the journey. Your support helps this channel continue creating thoughtful videos that explore the deeper meaning behind the experiences we all share. Now take a moment to reflect on this question. When you see dishonest people succeed while honest people struggle, what do you believe is really happening? Comment your answer below. A. Karma always returns eventually, even if it takes time. B. Life is mostly random, and karma does not always come back. Your perspective might reveal more about how you see the world than you realize. To understand why the results of our actions often appear mysterious or delayed, it helps to look at something far simpler than philosophy, something that has quietly explained the nature of cause and effect for thousands of years. Imagine a farmer standing alone in a wide field at the beginning of spring. The air is still cool, the soil dark and quiet from the long winter. In his hands are a handful of small seeds. They are dry, ordinary, and unimpressive. Anyone looking at them might wonder how something so small could ever become anything meaningful. Yet, the farmer treats them with care. He walks slowly across the field, pressing each seed into the earth one by one. When he finishes, the field does not look very different from before. The soil is smooth and empty. Nothing dramatic has happened. To someone passing by, it might seem as if the farmer has done almost nothing at all. But the farmer does not feel disappointed. He does not panic or doubt the process, because he understands something most people forget. He understands that the most important part of growth happens where no one can see it. Beneath the surface of the soil, those quiet seeds begin to change. Moisture softens their shells. Tiny roots push downward into the earth, searching for stability. At the same time, delicate shoots begin their slow movement upward, reaching toward the light that has not yet appeared. Days pass, sometimes weeks. From the outside, the field still looks empty. Yet beneath the surface, an invisible transformation is already unfolding. The farmer does not rush the soil. He does not dig up the seeds every morning to check if they are growing. He simply continues to care for the field, trusting the quiet laws of nature that have governed growth long before he was born. Human life follows a surprisingly similar pattern. Every action we take plants something in the unseen field of our future. A moment of patience, a choice to be honest, a habit of generosity. Each of these actions places a seed into the soil of time. In the same way, anger, selfishness, and deception also plant their own seeds, even when their effects are not immediately visible. What makes this process confusing is that the harvest never appears instantly. There is always a period of silence between the planting and the result. And it is within that silence that many people begin to doubt whether their actions truly matter at all. And it is exactly within that quiet period, between the planting and the harvest, that the first hidden law of karma begins to reveal itself. The first law is simple, yet deeply misunderstood. Karma is delayed, not absent. One of the most common mistakes people make is expecting consequences to appear immediately after an action. When they do something harmful and nothing dramatic happens right away, they assume the action carried no real weight. When they act with kindness and receive no visible reward, they begin to wonder whether goodness truly matters. But life rarely operates on the timeline of our expectations. Many of the forces that shape our future unfold slowly. A single decision rarely changes everything overnight. Instead, choices create directions. Over time, those directions quietly lead to destinations we did not fully anticipate when the journey began. A person who repeatedly chooses honesty may not see instant rewards, but something subtle begins to form around them. Others slowly recognize their reliability. Trust grows almost invisibly. Opportunities appear not because of a single moment, but because of a pattern that has been quietly developing for years. At the same time, the opposite pattern can unfold just as quietly. Someone who consistently bends the truth or places personal gain above integrity may still move forward for a while. In fact, their progress can sometimes look impressive from the outside. But beneath the surface, something fragile is forming. Trust weakens. Relationships become shallow. Eventually, the structure built on unstable ground begins to reveal its cracks. Time has a way of exposing the seeds that were planted long ago. This leads to the second law of karma. Actions multiply over time. Most people underestimate the power of repetition. They think in terms of single events, but life is shaped by patterns. Small actions, repeated often enough, begin to compound in ways that are difficult to notice in the moment, but impossible to ignore later. A single act of generosity might brighten someone's day, but a habit of generosity changes the way people see you. It alters the kind of relationships you attract, the trust others place in you, and even the way you see yourself. In the same way, small acts of carelessness can grow into patterns that eventually shape a person's reputation, opportunities, and inner life. Karma rarely shouts its presence. It works quietly, accumulating strength through time, until one day the results become impossible to overlook. And when we begin to see how actions quietly accumulate through time, another layer of karma gradually becomes visible. The third law of karma is that consequences rarely return through the same path in which they were created. Many people expect life to operate in a simple and direct way. If someone harms another person, they imagine the consequence will come directly from that same individual. If someone performs a generous act, they often expect the reward to return from the person they helped. But the fabric of life is far more interconnected than that. Human experiences are woven together through countless invisible threads: reputation, trust, memory, and perception. The way we treat one person influences how another person sees us. A single action may ripple outward through relationships we do not even realize are connected. Someone who quietly practices integrity may one day receive an opportunity from a stranger who simply sensed something trustworthy in their character. The reward did not come from the original action directly, but the seed still found its way back through the larger network of life. In the same way, selfishness can travel through unexpected routes. A person who repeatedly takes advantage of others may still advance for a while, yet over time they begin to carry an invisible reputation. People may not openly confront them, but doors begin to close. Trust becomes cautious. Opportunities slowly drift toward those who feel safer to rely on. Karma moves like a current beneath the surface of human interactions. This leads us to the fourth law of karma, which may be the most profound of all. Before karma changes your circumstances, it changes you. Most people focus only on external outcomes. success, failure, recognition, or loss. But the deeper transformation happens internally, long before the outside world reflects it. Every repeated action shapes the architecture of the mind. When someone practices patience again and again, patience stops being an effort and becomes a natural response. When someone repeatedly chooses honesty, honesty becomes part of their identity. But the same principle applies in the opposite direction. Repeated resentment strengthens resentment. Habitual blame trains the mind to search constantly for fault. Small compromises of integrity slowly reshape a person's character until they begin to feel disconnected from their own values. In this way, karma quietly molds the person we become. And over time, the person we become determines the life we experience. And once we understand that our actions are quietly shaping who we become, the final law of karma begins to make profound sense. The fifth law is simple, yet difficult for many people to accept. Karma rewards patience. In a world that moves quickly and celebrates immediate results, patience often feels like weakness. People want proof that their efforts are working. They want visible signs that their choices matter. When those signs do not appear quickly, doubt begins to creep in. Some abandon good habits too early, believing their efforts have made no difference. But the deeper rhythms of life rarely move at the speed of human impatience. Think again about the natural world. A tree does not grow tall in a single season. Its roots must first deepen into the soil, anchoring it against storms that have not yet arrived. Growth that appears slow is often the very process that creates strength and stability. Human character develops in the same way. Someone who continues to choose integrity, even when dishonesty appears easier, is quietly strengthening something within themselves. Someone who practices kindness, even when no one is watching, is slowly building a foundation of trust that will shape future relationships. These changes are subtle at first, but they accumulate in ways that become undeniable with time. This is why karma is not best understood as a system of punishment or reward. At its deepest level, karma is a system of learning. Life constantly reflects the patterns we create, allowing us to gradually see which actions lead toward peace, trust, and growth, and which actions lead toward conflict, isolation, and regret. The purpose of these reflections is not simply to judge us, but to guide us toward greater awareness of the seeds we are planting each day. When people begin to understand this, the question of whether life is fair slowly transforms into a different question. Instead of asking why certain things happen, we begin asking something far more powerful. What kind of future am I quietly creating through the choices I make today? Because every word spoken, every habit repeated, and every intention carried into the world becomes part of the unseen field where tomorrow is being formed. And although the harvest may take time to appear, the seeds we plant today are already shaping the landscape of the life we will eventually walk through. As we step back and reflect on everything we have explored, a quiet truth begins to emerge. Life is not as chaotic or meaningless as it sometimes appears. Beneath the surface of daily events, there is a subtle pattern unfolding, one shaped by the countless choices we make over time. Every thought we nurture, every habit we repeat, and every action we take becomes a seed planted into the soil of our future. Some seeds grow quickly, while others remain unseen for a long time before revealing their results. This delay often causes people to lose faith in the connection between actions and outcomes. But the deeper we look, the more we begin to understand that life is constantly responding to the patterns we create. The true lesson is not simply that karma exists. The deeper lesson is that we are always participating in its creation. This realization can be both humbling and empowering. It reminds us that our lives are not shaped only by circumstances or luck, but also by the quiet decisions we make every single day. A moment of patience instead of anger, honesty instead of convenience, kindness instead of indifference. These small choices may seem insignificant in the moment, yet they slowly build the character we carry and the future we eventually encounter. Applying this wisdom in daily life does not require dramatic change. It begins with simple awareness. Pay attention to the seeds you plant through your words, your habits, and your intentions. Choose actions that reflect the kind of person you hope to become, even when the results are not immediately visible. Over time, those choices begin to shape a life that feels more meaningful, more peaceful, and more aligned with your values. Now we would love to hear your perspective. Do you believe that the small choices people make every day eventually shape the life they experience? Please share your thoughts in the comment section below so others can learn from your perspective as well. And if you enjoy exploring deeper ideas about life, wisdom, and human nature, consider subscribing to the channel to support Daily Soul Compass. Your support helps us continue creating thoughtful content that inspires reflection and growth.